Parrot Alex lived all his life in the village of Quiet. Only birds lived in the town. Some lived on the streets, some in the gardens, and some had homes of their own. The houses in Quiet Village all looked the same: gray, low, and inconspicuous. The front gardens were full of piles of leaves, neatly raked by the birds. Alex was a giant red macaw. He had beautiful red, shiny feathers, with a touch of blue and green on his left wing. He found a gold link chain in the rubbish, which he proudly hung around his neck. Alex only took it off when he slept. He lived at number 8 on Church Street, where he sat inside in his tiny cage. Although there was a large leather armchair, he liked that tiny cage. His only friend was Cockatoo Kate. Kate was a bit shy. She didn't like to talk and cackle, but Alex loved her company because she laughed at his jokes. When Alex whistled songs, Kate always whistled the second voice. They often whistled a tune of their own until the birds hung out of their windows and begged them to please stop. Alex wasn't very popular in Quiet, and he had made enemies: the members of the Boring Bird Gang. Well, they weren't really a gang, more like a funeral procession. They were silent, sullen, and all had black feathers. They didn't like to fly and preferred walking in the shade. Otherwise, it would be too hot for them, and they didn't like that. Maybe their wings would discolor, and they thought that would be the worst thing there was. One warm Sunday, Alex was bored. He wanted to chat and hang in trees. "I'm bored. I'm bored," Alex cried. He flew out of his cage, looking for Kate. She was by the fountain, her head bent towards the water.
"Hey, come with me. Come with me. We're going to fly in the sun."
"I want to, but my mother won't let me. You always get me into trouble. I'm not allowed to go with you anymore."
Alex couldn't believe it and shed a tear. How could he enjoy himself without Kate? The only thing that could cheer him up now was his music. He walked back to the fountain and started rapping.
Fly high, fly low, fly fast, fly slow. Sing while you fly. Just give it a try.
Windows around the village square opened.
"Get out of there! Get out of there, you weird bird!"
Alex continued, dancing to his own beat. Birds came flying in and chirped.
"You can't do this. You have to whisper here. This is a fountain of silence."
Alex didn't listen and rapped on.
"Listen, Alex, you never come to meetings, and you sit here rapping in the fountain of silence. You're ruining our reputation. We're not rappers with crazy colors and stripes. You don't belong here. We'll give you a red card."
The other birds nodded along.
I'm not bothering anyone, am I?
It's time to leave Quiet. Parrot Alex was sad. He flew to his tiny cage at number 8. He gathered his things, took a big gulp of water, and flew away with his little box.
Goodbye, Quiet.
Alex flew for 2 hours before he came across a zoo. He looked around for a place to rest and found a glass building. It was a greenhouse. The door was open, so he went inside. It was damp and warm. Alex gasped for water and wiped the sweat from his forehead with his wing. He put his things by the trunk of a palm tree. Could there be other animals in the greenhouse?
Is anyone there?
The shrill sound echoed across the greenhouse. There was no reaction. For a moment, he was overwhelmed with fear. His gold chain felt heavier than ever, so he took it off and put it in his little box. It was quiet. He'd never not spoken aloud for so long. Would he be able to ask the Boring Bird Gang if he could come back to quiet? He wiped the dirt from his feathers and thought of the old days. Alex used to have gray feathers. One day, he just decided it was time for a new look. He used leftover beets and carrots from the community garden to make a soup in which he dipped his feathers. With some chalk he'd found, he drew blue and green stripes on his skin. When Alex looked in the mirror, he knew for sure this had to be it.
It looks beautiful,
he thought. The other birds hated it and often laughed at him.
Ugly Alex, did you fall into the paint?
No, he wouldn't go back to Quiet Village. No way. When Alex woke up the next day, he heard a loud noise of breaking glass in the distance. He ruffled his feathers, picked up his little box, and flew out of the greenhouse. By following the sound, Alex arrived at a large green forest. Flying crests rose above the leaves.
Hey, is it nice out here?
The cockatoos shouted in unison.
It's fantastic here. Are you a macaw? What a weird color your wings are.
The cockatoos started to gather and shouted,
Macaws are forbidden here.
Macaws are forbidden here. Macaws are forbidden here.
Alex became angry. Had Kate been the only nice cockatoo?
What a disgrace!
He shouted back, and then bravely flew on. He flew and flew until he saw a large lake.
Should I cross it or stay on the side?
He wondered. Alex was thirsty, exhausted, sweaty, and his feathers had dulled. He decided to spend the night on the shore.
Tomorrow is another day,
he told himself. Alex woke up because the sun was shining right on his head. What was he going to do today? He didn't want to go back to quiet. He didn't want to go back to the zoo or to the cockatoos. It was time to cross the lake. He drank, stretched his feet, and smoothed his feathers.
You can do this.
But he saw something in the distance, something that was coming towards him, faster and faster.
Craw! Craw! We're going to eat you, you dirty parrot.
There were about 4 of them, and they were attacking from 2 sides.
Get out of here, you nasty geese!
Alex tried to fight his way out of the biting and scratching. He gathered all his strength and kicked at them hard, but the geese kept coming at him.
I have to distract them.
He started to rap.
Fly high, fly low, fly fast, fly slow. Sing while you fly. Just give it a try.
The geese were frightened. What was this? A rapping parrot? Alex used the distraction to fly away. He had never flown that fast before. After some time, Alex saw a small island in the distance.
Time for a break.
Alex thought. He needed to recover from the flight and the nasty group of geese. He stopped at a small beach and looked around. It had golden sand, and the sea was a clear blue. He had never seen this before. He heard cheerful chatter, laughter, and even music a little further on. A smile appeared on Alex's face. It had been so long since he'd heard music. As he flew towards it, he saw birds sunbathing on towels and in hammocks. Birds singing, beatboxing, and rapping. He couldn't believe it. He'd never seen this before, and they were macaws. Alex flew over the musical group and asked to relax after his long journey.
Of course. My name is Violet. There's room for everyone here.
She had a cheerful, soothing voice. Alex saw a shiny piercing on Violet's feathers. Violet gave him a few green leaves to nibble on. It calmed Alex down.
Would you like to join our rap and dance team? We're still looking for macaws who want to join.
Alex nodded immediately.
I'm so lucky.
He thought. He wiped off the dust that had settled on his wings and cleaned his gold chain. He sighed deeply for a moment. Then a tear fell down his cheek. He was so happy. Finally, there were macaws around him who loved music and the sun. Alex decided to stay there forever.
Thank you for listening to an Able Original.